Hi and welcome to my channel. So today I'm bringing you my killer kit video for the July Like Forever kit. Was it July? I think it's July. Anyway, so I do still have the cardstock left. I didn't find any need for cardstock this time, but this will be going back into my stash. I like to have it, sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. And then of course I do have the Heidi Swapp stencil. I did use it, but of course it's a tool, so that will also go back into my stash, as will the Mr. Huey's Mist, of which I've used that on a layout too, but that'll go in with my mixed media. Papers wise, I have some branding strips and that's it. So I have realised that while I did use the branding strips last month, this month I didn't so much. I think because I still had quite a few bits of papers left, so they weren't there. So in the future I am going to chop the branding strips off first, and then I'm going to use those hopefully as I go along. Well, that's the plan anyway. So I am going to keep hold of this one just because these are little labels, and I do have the other one in my die cut stash somewhere. So I am going to keep hold of those and put them into my colour boxes, but I'm not going to keep hold of any of these because there's only so much paper I can keep hold of. So that's going. Letters wise, I did very well. I have no E's, I have one A, I have no N's, and then I've even used some of the numbers. I'm very low on R and S. I have no T's left, so I've made a very good dint into those, and those were gorgeous letters. The little mini hearts and dots, I've also made a good dint into those. I do still have a few left, and I will probably pull them into whatever the next kit the colours suit and try and get those used up. I still have some washi tape. Surprise, surprise, because there is loads and loads on this washi tape, so that'll also go back into my stash. And then I do have a few die cuts left. I don't have loads, I must admit, so I will more than likely keep most of these. There is some that I probably won't, mainly this one. I really struggled with the likes of this one, so a few of these will go to my daughter and a few of these will go into my stash. Generic things like the ampersand and the butterfly and things like that, but then I'm probably more than likely going to give these words to my daughter and let her have a little bit of kit stuff, just so that she gets something from the kit as well, even if it is my leftovers. So that is my kit, my Like Forever kit. I must say I did very well with this kit, so have a look for the layout share that's coming up. But yeah, thank you for joining me. I will hopefully now be diving into my August kits, which I am itching to do, but I seem to keep creating just another layout and just another layout out of this, and I got short of time at the end of the month. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and keep an eye out for my layout share video. And I knew I was missing something. I thought that was a bit short. I forgot to tell you what I have left from my stash. So most of this is in the top tray. So I did make a good dint in these Freckle Fawn letters, these teal ones, which I've been hoarding for a while. So they've had a good dint into them, which is good. And then I used a couple of these stickers, not too many. So I've not made a very good dint in those, I'm afraid, but they'll be there for another day. These letters I didn't actually end up using. They didn't suit the layouts that I was doing, and the one layout I could have used it on, I had no E's, so I ended up having to rethink the whole way it was going to work. But they'll go back into my stash, as will these labels, which I think I may have used one, maybe two, on a layout. These new strips from Studio Calico, I did use one, which is not bad considering this is quite a bright kit and these are all to do with pumpkins, etc. I use one of the My Mind's Eye gold accents. I also used a couple of these Simple Stories black stickers. I used a few of these gold pieces. I did use one of these Heidi Swap words, but I think that was it, so they'll end up back in my stash. Don't think that I managed to use any of these clear words, but I did use a few of these Amy Tan little words. So in regards to those, I've made a little bit of a dent in them, and to be honest, when I add in my stash, the aim isn't to get all my stash used up. The aim is to get the kit used up and have those extra little bits to help me to do that. So it still worked. I do have a couple of little die cut heart pieces from one of the layouts I did, which you'll see on my layout share, and they probably will just float around in my kit box until they get used on something. I did use a couple of gold stars that I had in the kit, though I've still got some left. I don't know if you can see this here. And then, as I say, there's a few bits that haven't been used. I did manage to use some of the lemons. Some of those got used. I may have even got to use another one of those cameras. I can't quite remember. I did use a couple of the Studio Calico chipboard black items, which was quite good. And a couple of other little bits that were random around in my stash, but I will point those out on the layouts as I get to them. And then I've got a few die cuts here, labels and stuff, which I actually didn't reach for the labels as much as I thought this month. And then the enamel dots, I don't think I touched those because I had enamel dots in the kit. So I tend to go to the kit first, and then if I need something else, I'll go into the rest. So all this stuff will go back into my colour box and back into my stash before I then create with the next one. But thank you for joining me for now what is now the complete killer kit video, and I'll speak to you all again soon.